Behind those trees and bushes, you'll see an okapi. Now, okapi are very shy, reclusive forest animals. Oftentimes, you will see them hiding out in the back parts of the forest. They have a reddish-brown coat with black and white striped legs that resemble a zebra. But the okapi is actually not related to the zebra at all. It's the only known living relative to the giraffe. Now, the okapi wasn't discovered until about 1901, and before that, it was thought to be a mythological creature. People didn't think the okapi actually existed until it was discovered. And we know it's a relative to the giraffe because it has a very similar skull structure and prehensile tongue to the giraffe. And as we make our way through this forest here, we're going to be coming up to a watering hole on the left-hand side. Usually a good sign for animal activity because the animals do like to socialize and congregate near the water. Kind of serves as a social setting for them. Keep your eyes peeled and see what we can find. Now, the animals out in this forest are famous for their amazing abilities to camouflage and blend in very well with the surrounding environments out here. They're also all plant eaters, so it is a very highly vegetated ecosystem. Not much going on down over here. Now, oftentimes you'll see the forest-dwelling antelopes out here kind of hiding inside the bushes and behind the trees. And they do that to keep themselves safe from their predators. Not much going on down over here. Let's see what we can find up ahead. Called bloats. That's spelled B-L-O-A-T. Don't see anything down over here, but let's see. Sometimes they move back and forth between both sides of the river. Yeah, there they are, right behind that island there. Now, if they fall asleep while they're underneath the water, their bodies will naturally rise up to the top. They'll come in for a fresh breath before sinking back down to the bottom again. Now, sometimes you'll see them leaving the water, roaming around on land to look for food. Hippopotamus are actually plant eaters. They communicate with each other by using a series of wheeze honks, which kind of sound like grunting noises. On the island, some gray and white birds, those are called pink-backed pelicans. Now, they get their name because of the pink coloration that will appear on their backs during their mating season. They also have a wingspan of about 7 to 9 feet. Down over here on the left, some Nile crocodiles. Those Nile crocodiles are about as long as a giraffe is tall. They get to around 20 feet long and on average weigh about 500 pounds. Their diets do consist mainly of fish, but they will eat anything unfortunate enough to cross its path. And on land, they can run at speeds of around 10 miles an hour. But now that we made it back to solid ground here, I'm going to take you up and over into the savannah. Now, the savannah is the largest region of the reserve. It's also home to some of Africa's more famous animals. Giraffes, lions, elephants. Lots of cool animals out on the savannah, and they're all free-roaming animals. So you really never know what you're going to find or where you're going to find them. But before we make our way over into the savannah, be on the lookout for a tree that looks like it was planted upside down. Looks like I see one over here. That's called a baobab tree. Now, it only has leaves for about 3 months out of the year. That's to help conserve water. That's why we call it the upside-down tree. It also gets its nickname the Tree of Life because it holds on to so much water it can survive really long droughts. Now, it looks like we've made it to the savannah, and over here you'll see my favorite view on the whole reserve. This is the Savannah Overlook. It's where you get to look over the entire savannah. So enjoy that view, and let's see what animals we can find out here. It looks like I see a small antelope up ahead on the right. Looks like a springbok. I'll see it way in the corner there. Springbok are the smallest of the antelope. Now, they'll jump up into the air about 6 feet off the ground. They can do that repeatedly, almost like a springlet. It's called pronking. That's how they escape their predators. They can also run at speeds of around 50 miles an hour. Down over there, you'll see those animals with the very large horns. Those are Ankole cattle. Their horns will grow to about 5 feet long and span about 6 feet from tip to tip. Now, the inside of their horns are actually hollow, so they're not very heavy. The inside is a honeycomb-like structure of blood vessels that allows blood to flow to the top, releasing any extra heat that they might have. On the left-hand side, you'll see 2 spotted hyenas up on top of the cave. Hyenas are very vocal. They can be heard from miles away. They have a bad reputation for being scavengers, but they're not scavengers, they're actually hunters. They have very good hunting abilities. Not related to dogs, not related to cats, hyenas have their own class of species, which is called Hyenidae. Now friends, remember, we're not going to whistle at any of the animals out here, right? Thank you. Up ahead, here's some more of those Ankole cattle, sometimes called the Watusi, named after the Watusi tribe that domesticated them. They're actually one of the only domesticated animals out here on the reserve. As we make our way through the Serengeti grasslands here, looks like we're coming up to some termite mounds.
Hey, look. Gee, it's bigger.
Now, these termite mounds are made from dirt and saliva of the termites. They will cook out in the hot African sun until they turn hard like concrete. Animals like elephants will use them as a scratching post because they like the way it feels up against their rough skin. And once they're worn down to a fine point, animals like antelopes and gazelles will use those termite mounds as a lookout point. Well, it looks like there's some giraffe up ahead there. Let's try to get a closer look at them. They're going to be way up on top of the hill. They're actually Maasai giraffe, and we know they're Maasai giraffe because of their patterns. They have a more jagged and irregular splotchy pattern. They're also the tallest living animal, getting to heights of around 20 feet tall. Some more little springbok down over here as well. Now those giraffes will eat for about 18 hours a day, and they only sleep for about 30 minutes a day. They don't require much sleep. They actually take shorter naps periodically throughout the daytime. Now they'll use their very long prehensile tongues to reach up into those tall trees so they can eat the leaves off them. Their tongues will actually go to about 18 inches long. They're about an inch long per foot tall. They live in groups which we call towers of giraffe. And for such a tall animal, they can move pretty quickly, getting up to speeds of around 30 miles an hour. Yeah, they'll eat mostly all the leaves in these acacia trees over here, pretty much anything. Oh, looks like there's a herd of wildebeest up ahead here as well. These are white-bearded wildebeest, sometimes called the gnu, spelled G-N-U. They can move pretty quickly. They'll get up to about 40 miles an hour. And migrate in herds that can reach up to the millions. In one single migration, they'll travel for about 500 miles. These tanner-colored antelopes are called Patterson's eland. They're actually the largest of the antelope. They weigh about 2,000 pounds, and they can jump about 8 feet off the ground. Now, both the male and the female elands do have spiral-shaped horns.
Listen to that grass.
Looks like these trees over here were bulldozed down by some elephants. They will do that to help clear out the landscaping, so that tells me there might be some elephant activity down over here. Keep our eyes peeled for them. They do tend to move around a lot, especially later on in the day. They'll actually migrate home because they sleep at night. Not much going on over here. Not much going on down over here either, but that's alright. Let's keep moving along here. Maybe we'll find something up ahead. Oh, that's weird. Looks like the road we're supposed to take is actually closed. Huh. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to take the long way around. Huh. Well, it's been a while since I've had to come back this way. Hopefully this road will get us back out onto the reserve. Actually, I'm pretty sure this road takes us near some red clay pits. No, everything's natural, yeah. I really don't like the looks of this bridge over here though. We're gonna have to take it nice and slow. Hopefully we'll be able to make it across without any issues. This bridge has really never been the same ever since some elephants decided to take a little stroll over. Whoa, 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 hold on, lean over to the right, lean over to the right. Save your driver, save your driver, save your driver. Is it over? Did we make it? Oh, looks like we made it. Sorry about that, folks. Is everyone okay? Did anyone fall off? No? Okay, good. Well, we're just going to keep moving along here. I do apologize about that, but looks like I was right. This road did take us inside some red clay pits, which is a good sign for elephant activity. Just take a look on the right there. You will notice some fresh elephant tusk marks. The elephants do like to dig their tusks deep inside the clay. They will eat that clay, and that's how they get their minerals. So be on the lookout. We may find some down over here, but again, they tend to be a little more social and active during the daytime, migrating home at night. Now, some research teams have actually recently discovered that elephants don't like bees. So farmers in Africa have started setting up beehive fences around their crops in order to protect those crops from being raided by the elephants. Now, it's a win-win situation for those farmers. Not only do those crops stay nice and safe for harvest, they also get to sell the honey that those bees produce as well. Looks like we're coming up to some of those ancient baobab trees over here as well. Now, these trees can live for over 1,000 years. They are very old. Ooh, there's a giraffe up there as well. A closer look at it. I also noticed some holes inside the trees over here. That's because animals like elephants can use their tusks and trunks to dig holes inside the trees and drink the water that's stored up inside there. It just goes to show you how important that ecosystem is for the animals who live out here. Doesn't look like there's much elephant activity over here right now. Oh, that's alright, let's see what else we can find. Some greater flamingo out in this little lagoon over here. These greater flamingo are the largest and lightest shade of pink. Actually, if you look closely at the edge of the island here, you'll see some of those baby ones. They're the grayer ones. Flamingos are born gray. They don't get their pink color until later on in life. Their color actually comes from their diet, which consists mostly of brine and shrimp. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, not a flock, but a flamboyance. Sometimes you'll see them standing on one leg as well. That helps regulate and control their body temperatures. It looks like the giraffes have made their way over and down near flamingo country. The giraffes don't have horns or antlers. They have something called ossicones. That's what sticks out from on top of their heads. Their ossicones are made from a fleshy material, similar to cartilage. I don't know. They all have their natural habitats here that they'll eat. Yeah. We're actually going to be crossing over into the eastern side of the savannah. Let's see what we can find in these savannah outlets. Actually, it looks like there's a fresh mudfish down over there. Which tells me there's been some rhinoceros activity over here. Rhinos do love to roll around in the mud. It helps them stay cool on really hot days, and also clean them off from any bugs or parasites that may get stuck to them. Once the mud hardens up on their backs, they'll scratch up against some trees to help clean their bodies off. I don't see much rhino activity over here, but they might have moved over to another part of the savannah, so we'll keep our eyes out for them. In the meantime, let's see if we can find something over here. Sometimes out here in the back parts of this forest, we'll find the fastest land mammal. That's the cheetah. Well, looks like I do see one up ahead on the opposite end there. There's two of them. They're kind of roaming around back there. They can run at speeds of around 65 to 70 miles an hour. Now they will use their tails to help them steer and change direction while they're running quickly on the ground. They use their spots to blend in very well with their surrounding environments. Now cheetahs are actually daytime hunters, using their excellent eyesight and their speed to hunt for their food. They're very good at hunting. They have excellent accuracy. A group of them is called a coalition of cheetahs. Cheetah is also one of the only big cats that have the ability to purr. They can be quite vocal sometimes. Actually, it looks like I see a large collection of rocks down over here. This is called a kopie. Now these kopie rocks are home to the lion. Looks like there's a male lion. He's way up on top there. The second rock down from the left, that is the male. Now they're a nocturnal animal. They sleep for about 20 hours a day. They're most active at night. It's the females who actually do the hunting. The males will protect the pride from invaders. Pride is what we call a group of lions. Now they do have very specially padded paws, which allow them to sneak up behind their prey without making any noise. They're very silent and very sneaky. Usually we see about 2 or 3 of them. There's a female lioness up there. Actually, 2 of them. Let's try to get a closer look at them. Now the Swahili word for lion is Simba. Simba does mean lion. Also over here some water buck. Looks like they're getting pretty close. Water buck do get their name because they love the water. Now, they will emit a very smelly, oily substance from their bodies, which does protect their skin and their fur from the water. It's their own natural way of waterproofing themselves. They probably won't. No. They don't look too hungry right now. I do hope you enjoyed seeing those beautiful lions and lionesses out there. Let's see what we can see over here. Actually, there's a nest of eggs up ahead here. As well as some bontebok down over there on the right. Bontebok are the smaller brown antelopes you see over there. They were critically endangered at one point. There was actually only about 17 bontebok remaining in the wild until some farmers stepped into action to try to save them. Now, thanks to conservation efforts, they were actually able to succeed and save the species. Now it's flourishing out in the wild. It's not even a threatened species. No. Over here on the right, those ostrich eggs, largest egg of any known bird. They weigh about 3 to 4 pounds each and take about 45 days to hatch once they're fertile. They can actually withstand weight of about 250 pounds before they'll crack. They're very strong and very durable. It looks like we're going to be leaving this savanna now, and I'm going to take you over into the final ecosystem out here. This land is actually fairly new to the reserve. It was once owned by some farmers, but unfortunately those farmers had to abandon the land because there was a lot of poaching going on here. Now the reserve took it as an opportunity to get rid of the poachers, build the land back up. Now the plant life here and the animals here are slowly starting to Actually, there's 2 black and white birds over there in the pond. Those are yellow-billed stork. They're actually carnivorous birds. So they'll eat fish, frogs, snakes, small reptiles. Sometimes they'll even eat other small birds as well. They're also really good fishermen. They love to poke around in the water and look for food. Well, it does look like we are approaching the end of the reserve, and I'll be taking you back into the village of Harambe. So I do hope you enjoyed seeing those beautiful animals out there on the reserve today. No 2 safaris out here are ever the same. Those wild animals definitely make sure of it. So please come back again and save some time, whether it's later on today or sometime in the near future. We'd love to see you out here again sometime. Now, we did see many beautiful animals out here today. We talked a little bit about poaching. We didn't talk much about habitat loss, which is still another major problem for these beautiful animals. And we can help save some of these animals' natural homes from destruction by doing things like recycling. And by recycling paper, plastic, old electronics, and old batteries, we can help create a greener planet, not just for ourselves, but for these beautiful animals as well. We can help save their homes from destruction, even help save some of them from extinction, just like those farmers were able to save those 17 bontebok we just saw. Now, looks like we made it back into the village. We're going to be passing by some warden's post down over here, but I'm actually not going to be dropping you off over here. I'm going to take you back up to the front, right where I picked you up from, so we do have a little bit of extra time together. Now, if you want to see some more animals, head on over to the Gorilla Falls Trail. Out there you'll get a chance to see some animals like naked mole rats, colobus monkeys, lowland gorillas, meerkats, okapi. Lots of cool animals to see over there.